Yeah, what's up? What up? What up? What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Lions Den. I'm Seth, y'all. I hope y'all appreciate this background, but I ain't at the crib, obviously. I don't even know who piano that is. All right.
Balling, man.
Yo, I'm out here. I'm out here. But anyway, y'all, if this is your first time tuning in, y'all, we focus on all things leadership, growth, and development with a call to action. All right, from the household to out in the community. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you see this beautiful face, and I'm talking about mine, not who this dude is, but hit the share button, right? Let everybody know where you at. We're in the place to be. What up, though, Herm? What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? You know what I'm saying? Had a pretty good weekend, man. What you got going on?
Man, I'm out here in Seattle, man. Going to be speaking with the Wounded Warriors, man. Got the Air Force Wounded Warriors, excuse me, program. Connecting with some Air Force members, some caregivers, you know what I mean, helping them out and with their transition, either out or in, and just overall connectivity. But seemed like your weekend was a whole lot better than mine. What's up with you passing out? What's up? And you get caught. That's the thing. You're supposed to get caught being
What?
passed out. What's up with that?
Man. So we took the wife out to Louisville for her birthday. It was her
Happy
birthday,
birthday. Happy birthday. Yes.
and we went to the Sky Soul Festival. You know what I'm saying, Louisville, to see DJ Cool, who I've always what I'm saying, he reminds me of my childhood. The DC Go Go DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Bobby Brown and Johnny Gill was there, man. Bobby tore it up, man.
Did
He,
was he
yeah,
moving?
he's in better shape, man.
Oh,
Yeah, and it was good to see, man. Uh,
okay.
and then Fantasia, she closed it out, but man, the biggest disappointment was Busta Rhymes, man.
Okay. What happened, man? Now look, I
Busta
seen him
Rhymes,
live in the '90s though. He was dope in the '90s.
and I would assume that because Busta Rhymes is a guy that's supposed to be with full energy.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's like a hype man, but he's the main character, right? You
that's
know what I
what.
mean? But for this show, for some reason, man, he just kept getting on the crowd about standing up on their feet. I'm like, dog, like we paid to get in here, man. We good, man. We've been here since 6 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock at night. We
Yeah,
tired.
it
You know what
was
I'm saying?
grown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get up there, do your woo ha. Got you all in check and let us get the hell out of here, man. We tired. Move so Fantasia can get on here. My wife wanted to see Fantasia. Move so she
Right.
can get on here so I can go home. I'm tired in the mug. So that's when
Yo,
she got that picture of me passed out, man. I was knocked
mm,
out.
you know what? It's crazy. As we was talking about this in the background, man, backstage. Apparently, Buster felt away. Clearly, okay,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. And so, y'all, if y'all just tuning in or just understanding what we're talking about showing up without showing out, showing up without showing out. Basically, not letting your emotions get away
Uh,
from yourself. You dig what I'm saying? Especially in this big grown age. So, all right, Herm, let me ask you this though. So, what does it actually mean from you, your opinion, to show up as an adult?
it's to show up with the expectation of, what I'm saying, to be who you are, who you are known to be. And
Mhm.
that whatever and I mean it's going to change depending on what you're showing up to,
Mm.
right?
What you mean?
If I'm showing up to a football game as a fan, you know what I'm saying, doesn't mean it's not the same as me showing up to my job.
Okay.
You know what I
Fact.
mean?
Yeah.
There's a different. I'm going up there to get loud and get crazy, you know what I'm saying, cheering my team on, right?
Hmm.
That's how I'm
Hmm.
showing up. But if I'm showing up to my job, there's a level of professionalism that they expect out of me.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a sound mind they're expecting out of me. There's a level of management they expect out of me, and leadership they
Right.
expect out of me. These are the things that are expected of me when I show up to a place that I go to every day.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. So now with me, man, showing up is like doing things when it's not convenient. You know,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, right, mentally, spiritually, whatever the case it is, man, whatever you want to put into it. But it's basically doing what you said you was going to do, right? Even when nobody's actually watching it. Kind of like it's the whole integrity type thing that was instilled in us years and years in the military, as far as those core values. But that kind of consistency, excuse me, is where you also are able to build trust with, I
Right.
believe, with yourself. You know what I mean? So Like y'all, when we're talking about showing up without showing out, it's like when we talk about triggers, right? For those of you that was following the live earlier this week, like understanding your triggers, knowing who you are as an individual, and without doing that crazy stuff that's going to be detrimental to your health or even a relationship, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
so you show up, right?
yeah,
Like it's something that you proud of or something like that, right? Like, all right, for example, you just bought a new house,
okay,
okay? You know what I'm saying? You're proud of your house, and then you invite somebody over, you know what I'm saying, and they start critiquing the closet size.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying, like, oh man, you went with the kitchen with no island in it. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
and so now they kind of raining on your parade.
Mm-hmm.
Instantly your pride is going to be affected, you know what I'm saying? But how do you know what I'm saying, manage that to let your homeboy know, like, yo, this ain't the way you show up to my crib, you know what I mean?
Yo, listen, it's so
And they
funny.
don't, it's like slick
Hating,
hating. Not no, like they ain't, it's not like they really trying to hate. Well, they trying to hate, but it's
it's
not
like,
like blatant, like, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's shadow shade.
Yeah.
Shadow shade. Yeah. You know, it's funny, man. I've actually had this happen to me. Same example, but it wasn't a friend. It was actually a family member.
Word.
You know what I mean? And I had to really think about it, right? And it took me a while to really understand now better than I did then. I didn't respond, but my mind really started going. And what I come to realize, man, is people do out of line things when they're hurt. Okay. They say things when they're hurt. And so I had an opportunity, multiple opportunities, if you will, but to really say something to hurt that person back. So when I looked at it on the full scale, I'm like, you know what? The only reason why this person is saying this, it don't have nothing to do with me. It's
You're right.
just the fact that I'm doing something that they may not have had an opportunity. Well, they've had the opportunity, but they didn't take it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's only coming out as a projection of their own internal, kind of turmoil. What you think? What if somebody tried to hate on you in your truck and, here you go with another truck, boo, 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 throwing that mess. You know what I mean?
It kind of happened today.
For real?
Yeah, kind of. I don't think, yeah, but I don't know if they really think that they're doing it or not. But like, it's like, hey, so yours like it's lowered. It's not like it was lifted like the one I had. I like, okay,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like little slick stuff. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you know what I mean? I don't know what, but this right here is good for me. You know what I mean? And that was something again I had to work on my responses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm on a new journey now. You know, I'm starting with a new therapist and all this stuff, and
Good. Good.
trying to work on my responses to how I get angry. You know, I know that I'm not always going to win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I've got to figure out a way to, you know what I'm saying, to not go with my first response.
And what's normally your first response? Crash out.
Man,
Yeah,
man, right off the top rope, like Macho Man Randy Savage.
boy. Like seriously, like think about it, man. We talk about this with full transparency, y'all. Look, we not as young. Well, I mean, Herm look older, but look, we're not as young as we used to
Boy,
be. Look, we're not as young as we used to be, but at the same time, are we still doing things that is not what's the word? Becoming of a man, right? A
right.
father, person in a relationship, husband, whatever the case it is. And so as we have these conversations, ask yourself, like, how do you show up? Like, look, no kidding. It's okay, all right, for other people. I'm not saying it's okay for me. I have to be, I hold myself to a different standard. But there's some people that say, well, look, I'm just like this. I'm not going to change, right? People have to adjust to me. Is that fair though? If you are seriously on a journey of growth, what you think about that?
I think that if a person says that, you need to believe them.
What you
You know
mean?
what I'm saying? If they tell you that, if they say, "Hey, I'm not going to change, and this is me," they've told you up front what it is. Then you know what I'm saying. Now
Yeah.
it's not up for me to judge if they are right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm only responsible for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not responsible for that person. You know what I mean? Like if they feel like, hey, this is me, right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm not going to change. I can have my personal feelings about it, but my personal feelings don't amount to nothing when it comes to another person's life. You
You're
know what I'm
absolutely
saying?
right.
So
Yep.
now they done told me, like, hey, this is me, like it or leave it, love, you know what I mean? Whatever. Then
Mm-hmm.
you have a decision to make, like, yeah, I can't deal with that. Or you know what? You know what I mean? You cool enough. You know what I'm saying? But again, now they done told you what it is. No need to keep it. It's like re-enlisting in the military.
Yeah.
You knew what the military was. You done did this time, and you decided you want to re-enlist.
Mm-hmm.
Quit complaining, man. You done signed up for another tour.
That's right. It
You
is
know what
what
I
it
mean? This cat done told you, like, listen, this is how I am, and this is me. I'm not changing. That
is.
doesn't mean they can't change, but they done told you. And it's like, you know what I'm saying, you better believe them when they tell you, or definitely believe them when they show you.
See, that makes a lot of sense. And I think a lot of the frustration comes when people hear it and they think that I can change that
And
person.
that's the problem.
That's the problem. Yo, shout out to everybody that's listening right now, y'all. We're talking about showing up without showing out, understanding your emotional regulation. Okay. Situations are going to happen every day, but do you have to do the same maladaptive things that you've been doing from the 80s or 90s or what the 99 and 2000s still? You get what I'm saying? Like, really, still. So, how about this? So when it comes down to boundaries, y'all, we talk about boundaries a lot, but I really want y'all to chime in, y'all. Let me know what y'all say, what you think. So, how do you set boundaries with friends without feeling guilty? Right? Because if you think about it, boundaries aren't walls, right?
Yeah,
They're guidelines to protect your peace and the friendship.
yeah.
Okay. So how do
I
you
think
do it?
I think the way you do, I'm bad with boundaries. You know what I mean? I'm bad with boundaries with my
Really?
friends and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. I mean, my wife could tell you, man. I mean, I'm always a phone call away. You know what I'm saying? From you know what I'm saying if they need something. So I'm bad with boundaries, but here's what I will say: that if you feel like you got to set a boundary, right?
Mm-hmm.
For your own mental health, for your own family's sake, for your own stuff, then there should be no feeling of guilt. You know
It
what I
should.
mean? Like, it shouldn't be because you got to also live this life for yourself. You can help everybody, you know what I mean? But eventually, you know what I'm saying, you burn out of that stuff.
You're right. Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
yeah,
And you can't help nobody once you burnt out.
you really can.
There's
I
a
like.
reason why, like on the airplane, they tell you if the oxygen mask comes down, put yours on first before you even try to help your kid. And
Absolutely
the reason why is because you can't help nobody if you're dying.
correct.
You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to effectively help nobody if you are struggling mentally, financially, spiritually, physically. You know what I mean? You can't help nobody else.
Yeah, very much. You're absolutely right. And I'm glad that you said that because I think for me, it's not necessarily setting a boundary as much as far as the tone or the vocabulary of it. To me, it's a standard. Okay. Like I know that I won't treat you worse than I treat myself. Okay. And as long as we've been communicating, you kind of already know where I'm at and I know where
Right.
you're at. Right. So the boundary in the sense is like, hey, we may not have to be able to say what we need, quote unquote, because we already know, right? Like, and you respect a yes and you respect a no. I think that when individuals
Yeah.
don't know how to respect that thing, now they have to enforce their boundaries, and then that's where the guilt trap come in.
Yeah. So now, let me go. Let me backtrack a little bit then.
Okay.
So one of my best friends, like my main dogs, you know what I mean? Like one of my best friends, my childhood friends. He's right there, like not like right there with Pink, and you know how Pink is with me.
Yeah.
But he's right, like the tier right beneath that. You know what I mean? He should have been in my wedding and all this stuff. You know what I mean? But this dude, running the legal troubles and all that, and that's really not. a problem for me,
Hmm.
legal troubles. But then he got the like hitting on his wife and stuff.
Okay.
That's a boundary for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like any abuse towards women like that, and it took me a while. You know what I'm saying? Because the love I have for dude. You know what I mean? But it's like, dog. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't align with who I am as a person and what you know. And I love you to death, dog. You know what I mean? But I don't let you slide once from beating up a woman, and you don't do it again. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like, and then you going to get me involved and try to manipulate this person. I was like, yeah, we just stopped talking. You know what I
mm.
mean? And I still wonder how he doing it because we were close. But that is definitely about that. That is definitely a boundary for me. In your behavior is how you're living.
Oh, that's right. That's right. No, that makes a whole lot of sense. So, look, shout out to everybody, y'all. How do you show up, y'all? And how do you enforce boundaries? Now, listen, y'all. It's not easy. Well, I guess it's easy. It may seem easy for us. We can get on here every week and have conversations and talk to y'all. And sometimes it's interactive and sometimes it's not. We can do this stuff. We know we can do this on the stage or not. But when it comes down to telling someone something that you know kidding feel, are you able to say it before you get to the level of 10?
Mm,
So at 10, think about it. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 unfortunately is where it seems like majority of the hard truths
right.
come out at because you're upset, the emotions are heightened, and then you want to tell them how you really don't like their mama and they brand new baby is ugly. You dig? It's like, yo, wait, what? You see what I'm saying? So, like, what do you think about that? Waiting until it's too late.
Yeah. The reason why you do that is because that initial level of vulnerability is hard. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Like when you get to talking about, how you feel or what hurts your feelings.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Men, especially I feel, especially with men, we don't want to sit here and talk about what hurt, like this hurt. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. You hurt my feelings, man. If you don't shut up about your feelings, but then you know what I'm saying. Now you taking that emotional tax. You know what I'm saying? Boom. All right, more emotion. You ain't speaking up about how you feel or what it's making you feel until it's too late. Now you can't. You now you stuck like my therapist talked about a cannon, right? And you keep stuffing things to that cannon until eventually it blows. You know
that's
what I
right.
mean? Because you weren't able to talk about in the very beginning when it's manageable. You know what I'm saying? You was too prideful to say, "Hey, let's not go." You kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. You know what I mean when you talk about it like that,
And see,
because that vulnerability is pretty tough to
yeah,
admit that.
like, can you tell it? Like, all right, so look, let's try this. All right. And for those of you that's watching right now, let's see if y'all can do it. How would you let a person know? All right. Even no matter who's listening right now, male or female, how would you let a person know that they're hurting your feelings? Think about it. Yeah. Like, you think you can use those words? Is that even in your Rolodex of words? Hey, you hurt my feelings. No, you sound like a lollipop. Who
For
knows?
real.
Right? But at the same time, how do you let someone know that you really care about and that cares about you that hey, you really didn't like that? Like, how do you say that in a way that's not disrespectful to yourself or even the other person? Hey, listen, you really didn't need to say that. I have a better regard towards you, and I expect that. I thought we were on the same page. I have, you know what I mean? Like, how can you really say that? How can we as grown men or as adults, y'all? And look, shout out to everybody that have good friends out there, good family members that you stay in contact with. But how do you adult as a real friend? You see what I'm saying? Some people say I can't have no new friends. You know why they can't have no new friends? Because they don't know how to show up in new experiences, right? New people, right? We're growing every day. There are certain people that I could have sworn would have been my friend from from cradle to grave. But hey, after when life changed, those relationships change. Does that mean I'm not able to have more friends? So how do you set those healthy boundaries and say what really needs to be said? So how do you say it, huh? How would you tell a person that they hurt your feelings without you saying, "Hey, dummy," blah blah blah? Like, what would you say? How do you say it?
I'm still trying to figure that. That's the part I struggle with. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because that you know what I'm saying. That is a part that I struggle with, saying that you hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? Because so here's where I mess up.
okay.
Instead of saying that, right, I go into a conversation with like trying to get people to explain why they said that. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Instead of saying how it make me feel, you know what I'm saying? I want to know why you said that. You know what I mean? Which in turns makes me more angry. You know what I'm saying?
so let me
Well,
hear. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
All right. So if they explain to you why they said what they said, do you turn around and say, "Well, that sounds stupid"? Don't you think that sounds stupid?
Most of the time, it's not going to sound legit to me
Mm,
because my feelings are involved. You know what I'm saying? So my feelings are involved. So no matter what they say, no matter what they say, besides you're right, you're right to me. You know what I mean? It's going to sound jacked up because why would you say that to me?
see,
You know what I
instead of
mean?
just saying, "Hey, what you said hurt my feelings,"
I can, boy, what?
couldn't do it, huh?
What? You trying to put a dress on, man? You trying to make me wear a dress out here, man? What's going
Right,
on?
right. Hey, with makeup and everything. But I mean, look, if you think about it, y'all, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Because even though you said that, you and I both know that's not the best way of handling that. You see what I'm saying? But is that the way? But you're saying that's the way that you would get around
Bro,
letting a person know what they did was out of line.
yeah. I mean, I'm talking about at work, everywhere. I'm like that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I feel like I gotta have an understanding of why you said that. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, you mad? You ain't go. You're not willing to understand though.
yeah, and I'm realizing that in this conversation, like, no, I don't really want to.
You
You know
really
what I'm
don't
saying?
want to know
I
it.
don't want you to be like. I think I just want you to hear what you just said and admit that it's damn. That what I said was stupid,
See?
but it might not be stupid to you.
So there you go. So
You know
now
what
you
I'm
set
saying? But
yourself.
it has to be stupid to you if it's stupid to me, right?
See?
You know what I'm saying? But that's what that ego kick in, right?
There you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're talking about, right? Think about it, y'all. All the things that we're doing. Okay. Look, we have an opportunity every day to be 1% better. Are you? Or are you just making allowance for the things that you've been doing for, let's say, 30, 40, 50 years? Well, that's just who I am. If people don't like it, then it's okay. But is it really? Is it really? And I mean, we're having these conversations. He had his revelation. I have mine all the time. Like, man, that was pretty crazy. However, I feel justified when I'm doing it. Right? Like I really feel like if someone is doing something out of line, I have to be the righteous lecturer. You dig? I got to explain to you. I have to bring it down to a science as to why it sounded crazy as hell for you to say what you said.
Right. So how do you show up? You know what I'm saying? How should you show up when your feelings is hurt? As men, as men, how should we show up when your feelings are hurt? Can men get their feelings hurt?
Man, we do all the time. We see it all the time.
How should
Listen,
we express when our feelings are hurt?
oh man, that is oh man. You know what? We would be some multi-billionaires if we knew the answer to it. But I would say I can't say
Is there
men.
any women? Hold on. Is there any women listening right now?
Probably is. But see, but
If
look,
there's any woman that's listening right now, how should men respond when our feelings are hurt? How would y'all like
mm,
for us to see it?
ooh,
How
that's
would y'all like to see it coming from us?
oh, you know what? Hey, Share you sharing this, putting this on your page, bro.
This shit,
I'm about to ask some folks too to chime in. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, go to like
I need to call my. I'm gonna see my wife is watching. Hold on 1 second.
yeah. Because that's a real good question. That's a real good question. Mm. So we're posing a question, okay, for women. Yeah. I think that's a real good question, bro, because I don't have the answer. Look, he really asking. You know what she gonna say? She probably gonna say, just say it. Be honest. Just say what you need to say.
All right, so my wife is watching now, right? She listening.
Okay.
So we was having a conversation about how it looks for men's feelings to be hurt, and
Mhm.
we asked. Me and Seth was talking about how should we respond when our feelings are hurt. How should we show up when our feelings are hurt? And we really don't have an answer for that. And so we want to know from the women, how would y'all like for that to look when our feelings are hurt? How should we express that?
All right. So we got somebody chiming in. All right. Okay. So she says she's on her way. All right. But no, I think that's a good question. That's a real good question. Because listen, we know how we want women to communicate that. And we know how we normally communicate it, but it doesn't always land correctly. Women, some women tend to be more outright and transparent about their feelings. Now some are over dramatic, right? Maybe, who knows, who cares? To the on the grand scheme of it, obviously we do, but it's not necessarily the why, it's the how. Okay.
Right.
We all have emotions, but how we communicate those emotions are different. But how do we communicate those emotions to be heard?
So with the big emphasis on like men's mental health awareness and all that stuff, is like we're trying to make strides in that.
Okay. So she said, all right, maybe first pause, ask a question. What did you mean when you said that? Or, hey, that bothered me.
I think that's where I mess up when I be with the what did you mean
Exactly.
when you say
Because guess what? Going back to your original point, people meant what they said.
yeah, and it's still not going to make sense to me if my feelings is hurt. You know what I mean? It's
So I
like,
think it's the latter part, okay? It's, hey, that bothered me.
and I
But
don't know why that part is hard.
see, because maybe, just maybe, and I'm only speaking for myself, it puts us in a vulnerable state. Hey, what you just did bothered me. Look, I've been in situations, man, when I tried to be as transparent as possible. You know what was the doubly hurtful thing that comes out after that? It's not that serious.
Yeah.
So she says, clear up intentions and tone. Well, yeah, it could. But that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you say, like, if I told a person, hey, what you just did bothered me, or hey, I didn't like how that sounded, or, you know, you may have meant something, but the way you said it, now I'm distracted by that, right? Did you know that bothered me? But when a person try to trivialize it, that's the word. When a person try to trivialize it, how do you show up? Now you got to blow up. Now I got to slap you. Got to. That's off GP. I think this a law, like gravity. Like, as soon as you say something stupid after I'm trying to tell you, hey, that wasn't cool. And here's the deal. I'm not looking for an apology. I'm looking for an acknowledgement.
And then also, what if after you say, "Hey, that bothers me," it's followed up with, you know what I'm saying, something that even more, you know what I mean, like even more down, like double down into it. You know what I mean? Like, "Hey, that bothered me." Oh, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't that really that, like you said, it wasn't really that serious.
Look,
Or
I told you she was gonna say that, or someone was gonna say that, or just say that hurt.
oh,
No,
see there,
see, but I get it. I
everybody
get it.
want.
Or how about this? See, how about this? You tell a person that they hurt you, and then they go back to when you hurt them in the 80s.
Yes, you know what I'm
You see,
saying?
so now it's still trivialized. So it's like, okay, now I have to apologize for something that don't have anything to do with what's going on today, just so that you can say, well, we both do the same thing. But what happens is it's still not a change or an acknowledgement in that maladaptive behavior. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is showing up without showing out. And so, what we're trying to ask is, how do men, or how can we communicate? Hey, I'm getting ready. Like, I'm now triggered. What you just said is causing me to think like I want to run you over with my vehicle and back up and go forward and back up and go forward a couple times. However, I don't want to do that. This, when you said this, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not going to physically do it, I want to. I have this burning desire. But do you even care that I have this thought now? You see? Is that wrong?
No, it's not wrong. I think that people need to. When I say people, I definitely talk about me. Right? Need to try to figure out what's important, and when you're in the throes of what's about to turn into an argument.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to be right? Are you trying to be understood? Are you trying to be respected? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When you should be like, hey, I'm just trying to keep peace.
that's right.
You know what I mean? All that other stuff, you know what I'm saying, and is subjective and really not real. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, and I'm trying to get to a place to where it's like, okay, something happened and make me feel negative. How can I navigate through this and still maintain peace? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's like my job situation right now is
Mm-hmm.
so like I'm getting text right now and it's so stressful, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because people don't want to work there, they want to quit and all this other type stuff. They scared of the kids or whatever. You know what I mean? And I mean, I almost tossed my phone through the window just now. I'm not even lying to you, man. It's really, and I'm like, you know what? How do I find a way to navigate through this um, when it almost seems like there's no way through.
So that's what that was going to be the next point. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is showing up. So she says, all right, less anger. Most anger is displacement. Yes? Yeah, no, a lot of it is. Or it's attached to other things, right? But as we're talking about this, y'all, truly, truly, truly think about what it is when you are showing up and you're not feeling the best. So, man, based off of your example, okay, and I appreciate this transparency. The question is though, like, what's the big picture? So the question is, if you think about it, like, how do you show up when you're exhausted or you're running on empty? Think about it. This is Sunday, okay? You at the crib, you're chilling out, we having this show, we having a good time or whatever. But how how comfortable are you being honest with your capacity instead of faking it? And to tell the people who matter, hey, yo, I'm tapped out right now, but I got you.
No,
As
no,
a man,
no. Well, I mean, again, it, forgive me if I seem distracted to how I'm showing up because man,
no, 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 I get
it's
it.
happening in real time, and I'm sitting here thinking, what the hell am I going to do? But anyway, I think that you know what I'm saying. As we talked about backstage, right?
Hmm.
Pure communication. You know what I'm saying? Well, not pure, like straight up communication about where you are mentally, physically, you know what I'm saying, spiritually, and all that needs to be had if you're expected to show up in a certain kind of way.
That's right.
right? I'm supposed to be the best man in your wedding, right? But
Hmm.
my dog is sick, so I'm not feeling too good about it. About you know what I'm saying. I'm not happy,
Hmm.
right? Like, look, bro, you know what I'm saying. But something that small, right? Am I gonna bother you on your wedding day about that, or am I gonna just go ahead and swallow that as a man, knowing that my dog gonna be all right and perform my duties as your best man, right? You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just depends on how you want to weigh certain things, right? Like you know what I'm saying. Some things are life changing, life altering events that happens in your life,
Hmm.
right? You know what I'm saying. Like somebody might have passed away, but I'm still your best man, right?
Right.
I'm gonna still make effort to come, as long as it don't interfere with anything that I got going on over here.
Right.
But I have to let you know if I seem off. Like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah. Being honest.
Because what will happen is you might respond in a way to me because it's the biggest day of your life. You know what I'm saying? You might respond in a way to me, and I'm not ready to handle that response. And it's going to be a problem because I'm already dealing with this because I didn't effectively communicate with you about what I had going on.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? It's like in the workplace when you don't automatically jump on somebody when they do something wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, hey, is everything okay with you at the crib? Everything going on all right with you? Oh, it is. Well, then why your ass late? You know what I'm saying? Like you got to figure out what they might have going on first before you go try to correct. You know what I'm saying? Behaviors and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But if
Hmm.
you effectively can communicate why you might be off your game a little bit, that should give you some grace.
It should. No, you're absolutely right. Y'all, look, we're really talking about this because it's real life. Just like he said, I mean, he's going through it right now. I'm going through it right now. Like, even if you think about this, right? If you think about like showing up at home, okay, and knowing how to separate what goes on at home and at work, it's like, how do you balance showing up in your space, right? Are you able to give each other or the person that you're cool with, space and full attention while you're in it? Okay. Like, even though your phone is going off and you know what people are talking about and it don't have nothing to do with the show. Well, I guess some of it do as far as your, emotional response to it, what you want to say to it, but you're still here. Are we able to show up in individuals' lives, even though life is life, you
Right.
know? And being honest to say, hey, I know what I know this is our time to decompress, but I need more time. Okay. I need time to count because the funk of the day is heavy. And I want to bring this mess on in the house. It's kind of like wearing your shoes in the house, right? Sometimes you track in mess.
For
You get,
sure.
yeah, for real. And then what happens is while you're trying to eat, you're decompressing and all this, you still got on your work shoes, your proverbial work shoes, and you don't know it. It's kind of like back in the day when we had to do the whole COVID and wearing masks. It was times I was wearing masks in my car. Like, it's just me. Like, wait a minute, right? So when we're showing up for real, y'all, how do you take your mask off when it needs to be? Or let a person know, hey, I'm still trying to ring out the day. I need a little bit more time. Are you able to do that? If so, how do you do it?
For me, my time is the morning time.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my decompression time.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'll get up in the morning, do a couple of laps around the neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, driving, just let the wind hit me, you know what I mean, clear my head, hit the gym, train like a Greek god, you know what I mean, and then come home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That morning time is crucial for me. It level sets everything that I'm going to have for the day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If I can't get that in to where I get out, I cruise around for a little bit and hit the gym, uh I'm not prepared. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I'm not prepared. I don't have I didn't release whatever energy that I have inside me, you know what I'm saying, that I need to release. My mind is not as focused. My wife would tell you, she could tell when I've worked out or not. You know what I mean?
Mm.
She normally be right.
That's
You know what I
dope.
mean? Like every time I leave the house now when I'm working out, you know what I mean? I might just sit in my car. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just I just got to, but the workout is the part that, you know what I'm saying, that completes what I need to get done to get ready for the day.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And you never know how the day is going to come. Going to pop up and show up. You know what I mean? You never know. So the reason why I'm asking this, and it's not just because it's part of the show, y'all. I really want you to ask yourself that: do you have a routine to the point that that routine is protecting you
For sure.
mentally, physically? Well, shoot, man, it's the same thing. I need that gym as well because that's where I get to clear my mind. You know, I mean, I think so much, man. Sometimes I'm thinking about things that I don't even know what I'm thinking about, but I need to be able to release that somewhere, right? Because, man, it can be a burden to someone else that's not emotionally prepared, right? I mean, like, me, man, look, we can have conversation, what, 5 something in the morning, and I'm
Yeah.
talking about some physiological type of
We
astro
everywhere.
all over the place. You know,
It'd be crazy how the conversation even start. The next thing you know, I like, where we at?
you see? So, but that's natural for me. But I have to be aware, though, not everybody can stomach that. Hell, sometimes I can't stomach it with myself. You know what I mean? Like, why am I thinking about this right now? But I know that part of my routine is that I either have to, connect with a friend like you, right? Or my other friend, Kyra, talk to people, that help me to kind of let some of that go because the world already is crazy as a Betsy bug. They don't need another one. Meaning me, you know what I mean? So that now after the day, I can be more present. You know what I mean? Or, just be a real helper or a servant leader, right? To people. But other than that, man, it's not easy. Especially if you're not transparent to say that, you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that people need to be more vocal about it and not worry about what it may appear like.
Hmm.
Like for me, because I mean, I and it's gonna be tough because it do sound like I complain a lot, you know what I mean, because of my arm hurt, something hurt, my stomach hurt. It's like I'm always in some kind of pain. And then it's like you known for that now. You know what I mean? But it'd be worse. I feel like it'd be worse if it's about my emotions and my feelings.
What you mean?
Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel bad. I feel, you know what I'm saying? I feel hurt. I feel sad. I feel this. Like, man, you a Care Bear or something? Like, what's going on? You know what I
So it's
mean?
not like whining though.
Yeah,
Is that?
you don't want to be seen like you whining over some emotional stuff when it's like, hey man, you pick and choose how you feel about certain things.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You got control over how you feel about certain things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to work through my mind about how I feel about this work situation that just came through my phone. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to right now as we speak go through it like, hey, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. And I'm thinking, okay, how am I gonna schedule this? You know what I mean? It's like, dang, I mean, I'm down to like 3 people. You know what I mean? So what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? And in the back of my mind, it's like you're gonna be all right. It's gonna be cool.
And that's the key. That's the key. This is what we talked about earlier, and y'all, we talk about this a lot too. But understand that you've overcome multiple milestones in your life, right? But sometimes we forget truly how dope we are. We forget about the things that we've done, the things that we've overcome, the things that we've championed, if you will. You did. And then so now this one thing is a new thing in time, but on the grand scheme of it, is not new in your life. I just think that there's times we don't recall.
Yeah.
How many times have you had, man, think about it, and I'm not trivializing it, but I understand. You're talking about a work schedule, right? At like your community center, right? Is there at is for the city. But think about what you did in you was in Afghanistan too, right?
Yeah. I,
Think about it.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why this is a little bit more difficult, and it's gonna be crazy.
Go ahead.
There, I'm dealing with just staff of some adults, right? It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have what's called the after school program where almost 100 kids come in a day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I got to be responsible for managing those kids.
Mm.
I can't do that if I don't have enough people there. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Yeah, that's the part that's like, if it was like a normal, like with no kids and stuff like that, no after school program, I could do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But with those kids, now, I don't want to make this show into that, you know what I mean? But with those kids, it make a difference. That's where the added stress come in. Where
Gotcha.
I need people around that's going to be able to help me make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the first days, so now the kids aren't used to any rules. You know what I'm saying? They're not used. They don't know any rules. They think it's going to be free for all. You know what I mean? So I need people in there that can manage these different rooms, so we can make sure we get these kids accustomed to be inside this facility. You know,
Mm.
we got to have a whole bunch of new sixth graders come in, a whole bunch of new kids that just transferred in this area.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I give me Afghanistan any day of the week, man. I can do that.
But
I do
this,
that all day long. You know what I mean? This right here, this joint right here, I got like 76 little bombs coming inside the building. You know,
right.
it's just a different stressor.
But you did say something though. I think that is paramount, and that we all should be able to remember is that it's going to be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
Ultimately, it is.
Yeah, the
And
city ain't
so
gonna let me. Yeah, we're gonna be all right.
yeah, ain't nobody gonna let you fail, and then you're not gonna let yourself fail. I really do believe it. And so, y'all, when we're talking about showing up without showing out, what does it look like to voice your concerns, to have conversations about whatever grievance it is? If someone is really poking at you, how can you say it without poking at them? All right,
It's,
like
it's,
you think
yeah,
about it. How can you tell a person, "Hey, I really didn't appreciate that. It hurt my feelings," in your own way, without calling them out out their name, wanting to slap them and all this other stuff? That is a struggle for me, bro. That
yeah.
is a struggle bus for me, and I am the driver. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not a passenger. I'm driving that thing. That is heavy.
I
But
think
do I have to do it? Go
no,
ahead.
no. That's important. Would you just say? Would you say? Do you what now?
Do I have to do that?
You have to do it.
And the answer is no. But when do I go up in there and kind of not work in the future, but kind of hold on to that ego before that ego does some things? You did?
Everybody that's listening, I'm looking. I'm gonna look right in the camera. Does it look like I'm looking at me?
Yeah.
I'm talking to me. I'm talking to me right now. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I'm about to make it. I'm about to make it, dude. I'm about to make it up.
Hold on.
Hold on. I got you.
I'm talking. I'm talking to me right now.
Go ahead.
Seth said, "Do you have to do it? Do you have to?" The answer is no. You ain't got to. You ain't got to jump off the top rope. You don't have to respond just because somebody hurt your feelings. No. Being a man and being in control of your emotions is, you know what I'm saying, part of masculinity. You know what I mean? Flying off the handle and, you know what I'm saying, letting control of emotions and acting like somebody made you do it, that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm,
That's wrong. That is not part of being a man.
that's right.
Nobody can make you do anything. Nobody can make you hit them. Nobody can make you mad. Nobody can make you angry. Nobody can make you sad. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody can do that. You choose every single emotion that you put out there. You choose that. And I think that's important for everybody that's listening to understand that you are the one that's in control of your emotions.
Yep.
Now, I'm not just talking to me, I'm talking to all y'all now. You are in control of how you manage your emotions. You know what I'm saying? You don't let yourself off the hook saying, you made me. No, nobody made you, dog.
Right.
Are you that mentally weak?
Mm,
Are you that now we're going to talk about you can't say that you hurt, but now are you that mentally weak to where you can't control your emotions and lash out against the people that you love or the people that you work with or with just a random stranger? You let a random stranger get you out of pocket like that?
mm.
You let a random stranger cut you off because they were trying to get coffee and almost, you know what I'm saying, cut you off in traffic while you're on your phone with your podcast co-host and you ready to get mad and crash out over that, right? You remember that time, Seth?
Yeah, I remember. Yo, hold, hey, I'm having a little issue with my camera right now, but I'm still here. I do
all,
remember that though.
all good. But you know what I'm saying? We got to do better. Everybody, we got to do better when it comes to the expectation on your part of how you handle your emotions. You know what I mean? You can't let yourself off the hook blaming somebody else. You got to take accountability for how you react, how you respond, how you feel. There's nothing wrong with anger. Anger lets you know that it triggered to let you know that you felt a certain way about something. You
Right.
still are responsible for how you respond.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You can't smack nobody just because, you know what I'm saying, they said a bad word to you, a trigger word to you, or talked about your kids.
Even if they deserve it.
Yeah, or they called you the N word.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The response is not to smack nobody.
That's right.
Now, if they smack your kids,
Oh
that's a
yeah.
different thing. That's a different thing. If they coming at you threateningly, trying to put bodily harm on you, that's a different thing. But because they said a crazy word to you or something like that, that is not justification for responding in an angry manner. Usually, you lost control and they won.
That's right. It's one of the hardest things, bro. One of the hardest things in being a man and being in this space because I believe, and it's just my opinion, bro. I can be wrong, but I believe society feeds off of the emotions. Excuse me, feeds off of the lack of control of emotions. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. How much how much control do you think majority of us have over purchasing the smallest thing? Think about it. And what I'm talking about is cognitively aware. Do I, no kidding, want this, need this thing or want? Ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing things out of a want, that's still being led by emotions versus a necessity. Okay? And we're generalizing, not splitting hairs. So what I'm saying is I truly do believe that society benefits off of us being emotional. Okay? Think about it. Social media, what do we watch when people spazzing out? Okay? When you want different things and all of that, what do you do? All right, so look, Sharita says, you can't control everything and everyone. Control is in many ways deceptive. You really aren't controlling anyone. People are lending themselves to your thoughts and feelings. Absolutely. But to your point, you're absolutely right. We're not here to control anything or anyone. However, this conversation seriously is about controlling ourselves and not making excuses, right? We all know, or I know you know, that excuses are tools for the incompetent, right? But now, if as we're talking as adults and adulting, having real conversations or having real relationships with people that we want in our lives, why are we still allowing ourselves to make the same degenerate excuses as to why we respond in the same way we did when we was in high school?
Right.
Period. I mean, that's really it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? So you're right. No, you can't control everybody else. But why should everyone, well, why should someone be able to still push that same tired button, right? You call me an N word. What should I do? All right. Or for you ladies out there, a man call you a B. Say, hey, bitch. And now think about this, right? Now think about this. The same thing with men. Don't get me wrong. There is a level of contradiction there. Your girls can tell you that in jest, and it's okay. We can call each other, right? Not saying we should, and not saying y'all should. We can call each other the N word, but as soon as someone else do it, now we're ready to spaz out. Contradiction in that. So why do we respond in these ways that's really not conducive to that which we say we are? Not what we want to be, but who we are.
It's false power.
What you mean?
We put power in things that really don't have any true meaning into it. It's just words.
Mm,
I mean, yeah, but then again, I mean, it's we sit here on this podcast and it's cool, you know what I mean? But I can't say how I'm gonna respond if I'm in a club and some white boy just start calling me that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get mad. You know what I mean? Like it's
But
just
are you gonna tear the club up?
it depends. It depends on when I get caught. See, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Like we talking on this podcast what we should do, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And then and hopefully what happens is people think about, what I'm saying, hey, stop giving people the power over you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Stop giving people the power over you. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean anything. Like when I worked security in Montana, I got called that before. It didn't make me spaz out. You know what I mean? So I was there to do a job. I didn't already threw you out the club. Like, my mission was done. You know what I mean? Like you can call me that all you want as long as you're out there in the snow.
Right.
I guess sometimes you just got to make sure you stay prepared for stuff. You know what I'm saying? You train like anything that needs to be trained. Your responses need to be trained too. You know what I mean? And you need to be able to coach yourself after an episode and be like, yo, you should have handled it this way. So that way, when you come across it again, you know, be all right.
Mm-hmm. So she says it's funny because our grandfather relished in looking emotionally in control, and now emotionally being out of control is applaud. Definitely different type. That's what I'm saying. You see, exactly. Look, that whole stoic thing, that vibe,
Yeah.
right? Like that has to be retaught.
Where it went though.
I think that's gonna be another conversation,
Yeah, you
man.
know what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
why we gotta stop saying boys it's okay to cry. You know what I mean, and all that types. That also back in our grandparents' time, men's mental health was never given a damn about. You know what I mean? They didn't want to hear about how men express themselves either.
See,
So now,
exactly.
if you telling men you want them to express themselves and do all this stuff, go to therapy. Grandparents ain't going to no damn counselors.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Grandfathers are not going about nobody's counselor to sit on the couch to talk about anybody's problems.
that's right.
So what we saying? So like, there is a reason why they were like that. They didn't
Mhm.
talk about their problems. They didn't. They didn't. They will smack their wife and all that type stuff. You know what I mean? Like there was a time. It was a big difference. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It was definitely in control of the household too. You know what I mean?
So
So
she said balance, but I think balance is hard. I think it's harmony because if you think about it, nothing is going to be even all the time. But I believe the compatibility or that harmony in it, knowing when to use that thing. You get what I'm saying? Because everything is constantly moving, right? Everything is moving. But
but
how do you utilize those tools?
before
Right.
we go, like like my wife talked about grandparents, easy comparison that's real.
Yeah.
Fences, the movie Fences. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
I was
saying?
thinking about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, with James Earl Jones and then later on Denzel Washington.
Hmm.
You see how that household was ran. You know what I mean? Like Denzel, it was everything was about him. Like, hey, he gave her all the money.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But it ran strictly by how he said.
That's right.
You know what I mean? To even to a point we brought an outside kid to the crib for her to raise. You know what I mean? So I know. I mean, I get praise in the back of the day, but
Yeah.
that came with something too. You know what I mean? That came with something. It wasn't just yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It came with something. There's a
Yeah.
tax on that.
Yeah. Y'all listen, y'all. Because look, you did your word kind of earlier, but I think it was good. Y'all, look, showing up is not easy, y'all. It's really not. Showing up authentically, it is not. But just understand what you need. Understand the conversations that you have to have and the individuals that are in your life. Okay, and how important it is to lean in with that. What else you got though, bro? I know we only got a few seconds left. What you think?
Man, I just want to say much love to everybody. Special shout out to my wife once again. You know what I'm saying? Celebrating her birthday and
Happy
uh,
birthday. Yes.
also contributing to the show today. For everybody that's watching, understand that you are the ones that control your emotions. Nobody can make you do anything. Keep
Nobody.
that in mind before you react like, hey, I am choosing this response.
All
And
right.
hopefully that helps you respond in a better manner.
All right. So that's our challenge this week for us. All right. Don't and bro, do not call me in the morning and say, man, I already messed up, bro. I already messed up. Like for real, y'all. Conscious effort. Okay. That's what we're charging ourselves with. We're challenging ourselves with that, and we're challenging you. All right. But listen, y'all, take care of yourself. And what'd she say? Hey, how
My
you doing?
mother-in-law. Hey, mother-in-law.
How you doing? Yes, she said we had a great show today. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for always watching as much as you can and contributing as well. But y'all take it easy. Take care of yourself and each other. Right on. Later.